Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Here we are, it's Wednesday morning. It's a little overcast, a bit of a breeze blowing as well, so I'm going to have to find another vantage point where I don't get my mic savaged by the breeze. So we'll just head down to the harbour. Just go head down to the harbour now and kick off our walk and talk. And today I'm going to do another book summary. I'm hammering the book summaries at the moment, so bear with me and we'll learn as we go. And the book summary that I'm going to cover off today is a book entitled The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwarz. I remember reading this book many years ago, and very powerful, very simple yet powerful. So where will we go? I think we'll try and head over here, but yeah, there's a bit of a buffeting breeze. What I'll do is I'll go to Wharf 6 just to get out of the breeze, because it's going to cause havoc. I can just see it. The gates are closed over here for some reason. These gates down here on the foreshore are normally open, but for some reason they're closed. Anyway, it's not going to stop me. I'll just keep on walking and talking. So another fabulous book with a lot of life hacks that you can use immediately for those who are interested. And the author kicks off by stating something which is quite powerful, saying that belief, not only belief but strong belief, triggers the mind to figure things out. So if you believe something and really believe it, then your mind will partner with you. Your brain, your mind, your spirit, your soul, the universe will work with you, will conspire with you to help you figure out whatever you need to figure out. So it's a very powerful statement, but it's a very true statement as well. It's only now that we're starting to understand the power of the human mind and the power of the human brain and its infinite capacity and capability. And I guess in 1,000 years we'll know more, and looking back we'll be saying, geez, had we known that 1,000 years ago, we could have achieved a lot more with humanity. So the mind will figure out ways and means of achieving whatever you believe in, as long as that belief is sincere and deep and strong. And he goes on to say that, well, the opposite is true also, that disbelief is a negative power, and the mind will work to find ways and reasons to support your disbelief. So if you believe something, or if you disbelieve something, then you will find evidence, there's no doubt about it. Your mind is very clever at finding evidence to prove or disprove whatever your belief is. So the lesson here for young people is to be cautious and to be careful what you believe in, because whatever you believe in will be manifest in your life. But most importantly, it's important to believe in stuff and things that are going to empower you, are going to brighten your future, create a compelling future and a beautiful life for yourself, rather than the crap that's going to keep you down, make you unhappy, and stuff up everything in your life. Anyway, I won't go over there to Wharf 6 because there's a nutcase over there. I can just hear him talking and carrying on. So I'll stick over here for the time being. I don't want to have to deal with that crap first thing in the morning. So a little bit more on belief. The author says that belief is the thermostat which regulates your mind and your being and your energy levels. So nobody will believe you until you believe yourself. Another awesome point. How important is it for us to be confident? And confidence is just a sign of pure belief. So now think about the importance of having belief. And your thoughts, there's another one here, your thoughts condition your brain. There's a plasticity in the brain that can be changed. Your brain structure changes depending on what you focus on, depending on what you're thinking about, depending on what you are constantly aroused about. So different parts of your brain will grow and develop based on the thoughts and emotion that you apply, and by the same token, the parts of your brain will also atrophy, fall away and get smaller and fall into disuse if you don't engage them. The biggest or the worst disease in the world is excusitis. Excusitis. It's a hard one to say, but you get where I'm coming from. If you're always making excuses, it's going to deaden, it's going to kill your mind, and it's a disease that most average people suffer from. High achievers don't suffer from excusitis, or if they do, they'll find excuses to get things done in their lives rather than look for excuses to not get things done. So have a think about all the excuses you come up with and reflect on those excuses and ask yourself, is this excuse going to empower me, give me strength, help me grow and develop and achieve my goals? Or is this something that I'm just pushing off to another day, which will never allow me to achieve what I've set myself out to achieve? So the author talks about the importance of making a decision, and making a decision right now to decide whether or not you're going to live or die, and not to confuse the both, because now is the time to live and not the time to be dead, to be sitting on the couch doing nothing, relaxing, because you've got a time slot. You've got an allocation of time in your life. You've got 164 hours, is it a week? Or 168 hours a week to get things done. You've got 24 hours a day to get things done, and you're not going to get anything done by coming up with excuses and waiting for things to fall into your lap. And another interesting thing that I've never thought about before, but is really interesting, is that with regards to intelligence, the author wakes us up here and tells us that we tend to overestimate how smart other people are and underestimate how smart we are. Think about that. It's a good one, because at the end of the day, we underrate ourselves. We always think that somebody else is bigger, better, bolder than what we are, and that's not always the case. And unless you apply yourself, unless you give yourself a go and give yourself a good crack at life, then you're never going to know. But but as we said before, that you need to apply yourself. You've got one life, you've got 168 hours a week to express yourself. Fair enough, 40 of those hours or 50 of those hours may be work. You've got an amount of sleep in there as well, but you've got a whole lot of free time that you need to use. And the other thing that he mentions here, which is awesome, is that stickability. I love this term. These Americans come up with some awesome terms. Stickability is more important than ability. So if you start something, even if it's small, even if it's just crawling. You know, before you know it, it will snowball. And the longer you stick to it, as long as you're practicing and you're growing and you're developing in a deliberate and expansive fashion, then you're going to be a leader in your field, or you're going to achieve more than what you ever hoped for by sticking to it and just being there for the ride. And this one here I remember many years ago as a young bloke, and it's stuck with me ever since. That knowledge. A lot of people think that knowledge is power. The author reminds us that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power at all. Knowledge is potential power. Let me say it again. Knowledge is potential power. It's applied knowledge which becomes powerful. So, you know, you could be the smartest person in the room, have all the degrees, have all the accolades, and have all the respect in the world, but unless you're applying that knowledge, you're just going to be an also-ran. You're not going to achieve anything. So think about that. Applying knowledge is the most powerful thing you can do. And he goes on to also say that attitude is more important than intelligence. Attitude, the way you see your life, the way you see things, the perspective you have, is more important than how smart you are. You know, the ability to stick to things, the ability to plan, the ability to get things done and get it done now is more important than being smart. You know, the world is full of smart people who have done nothing and have gone nowhere. So it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to be smart or whether or not you want to be effective with your life. And the other thing here, he says that thinking is more important than memorizing facts. Remembering to get through university, remembering to get through and to get through school, all you had to do is memorize facts, you know, rote learning. But the author here reminds us that in order to get through life and to achieve the best you possibly can in life, you need to think and you need to gain knowledge and you need to apply that knowledge. And he says something here which is quite profound. Am I using my mental ability to make history, or am I using my mental ability to record history made by others? No, don't be a spectator. Don't go through life being a passenger, a spectator, and just applauding and watching what other people are doing. Get out there and find your calling and do things which are going to make you a participant in your life. We've all got a different calling, and we've also all got different callings as well. So you don't have just the one calling, you've got multiple callings. But you need to embrace those callings and do whatever it takes to enjoy that calling, because each calling will lead you to another calling. You're not going to find or get led to another calling by waiting, sitting on the couch, expecting others to open the doors for you. You open a door and then other doors will open. It's as simple as that. So don't wait. Big lesson there for all of us. It doesn't matter how old you are, each door you open will lead you to more doors. It's a little bit like Maxwell Smart going through that little arcade or that little corridor where each of the doors open automatically as he's walking. And the same will happen to each and every one of us. We'll get challenged, we'll go through pain and suffering, but each one of those doors are going to lead us to a better place. Way, the water's just started here. I think I better move, otherwise will I get caught up in the sprinklers? How funny is that? Anyway, let me go this way so I can get out of the way of these sprinklers. Geez, almost got caught. Can you imagine if that started beneath my legs? Would have had a nice little surprise. And the awesome thing that the author talks about, once again, is that life is much longer. Good to sit here. Life is much longer than most people think. When you're in your 30s, you've got 80% of your life ahead of you. If you're in your 50s, you've still got 40% of your life ahead of you, assuming that you're going to live to a ripe old age. Now, we don't know how long we're going to live, but the author reminds us that for most of us, for most people, life is longer than what you actually think. So you need to go through life and make sure you don't mismanage your negative imagination. You know, the greatest habit, or the worst habit in the world, and the hardest one to break, is the one of negative thinking. And as the author says, the mismanagement of negative imagination, and the dwelling on fear, uncertainty and doubt. Don't worry about it. Just get up and get some things done and deal with the problems as and when they arise. Don't overthink them. Don't live or experience 1,000 deaths by your imagination. Just bloody do it. Just get out there and do it and deal with it when it arises. Don't deal with it or overdwell or overthink it in advance, because you'll never get to do anything. Trust me on this one. It's a powerful lesson. And the most important thing along the same line is to take action. Take bold and massive action in your life, because action is the surefire cure for fear, indecision, and action is the cure for postponement. And all of these things, fear, indecision and postponement are the things that fertilize fear, make it green, make it lush, make it alive, and it overwhelms us. So don't engage in fear, indecision and postponement, because they're going to stuff you up and just take you off course, and you'll be struggling to get out of the weeds and the bushes. And the other thing the author says, which I love, because it puts things into perspective, and it says that people are alike in many, many more ways than what we're different. And yet we'll spend our lives trying to be different and identify the differences. Fair enough, we're different in some ways from each other, for each other, but in most ways we're very, very similar. So learn to collaborate, learn to love your fellow man, and learn to live with each other without trying to be too much of an individual and spend too much of your time trying to be different and trying to be individual. Yeah, embrace your individuality, but understand that we're a lot more similar to each other than what we are different. And be respectful of that is, I guess, the bottom line. So the author talks about the importance of waking up, moving quicker, talking quicker, smiling brighter, and be alive. You've come into this world to make a difference, and not to be a corpse, not to be a zombie. You look around and there are people who are in a zombie sort of mode, complaining about this, complaining about that, when there's so many other beautiful things that they could be focusing on and enjoying in their lives. Now, I've got the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House in the background there. You can focus on those and just feel $1 million, or you can focus on yourself and your path and get a powerful boost in your life. And the last few points are really, really powerful. Really powerful. And he said that we need to look in the mirror. we need to look at ourselves, because your appearance, my appearance, talks to you and also talks to others. So we need to take pride in our appearance. We need to make an effort with our appearance, because it talks volumes, not only to others, what's happening in our heads and in our souls, but also it talks to us and it reminds us what's going on in our lives. So make an effort with your appearance, regardless of how old you are, regardless of what limitations you have. Make an effort is the call to action. And the last one I loved, my mother always used to say this to me as well. She goes, look, in life, you know, there are things which are quality, there are things that are special, and you need to focus on having fewer things and better things in your life. And the catch cry is to pay twice as much but get half as many. So don't be overly concerned with being greedy and having as many things as you can in your life. Have half as many, but the things, the people, the experiences that you have in your life, make them special. Spend more time with the people that you love. Spend more time with the people who will allow you to grow and develop, and who will welcome you into their life to help them grow and develop, because we need partners in our growth and development. We can't do it alone. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take some points out of this wonderful book, The Magic of Thinking Big, and use our mind, use our brain, use our thinking, our thoughts to empower us, to give us knowledge, but for that knowledge to be applied knowledge, so that we can grow, develop, and become better versions of ourselves, so we can help all of those around us wherever possible to facilitate their growth and development, so that we all become agents and partners in each other's awesome growth and development. Yassas from Jim's 5 a.m. Club, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow in a different place with a different message. So thank you once again. Sasagapao. Take care. Yassas. And until we chat again, bye for now. Cheers.